Chapter 14, Kick, Jasmine's Perspective. 3 months had gone by with nothing but my mental state changing. No, that's not true. I was staring at my stomach in the mirror. I had on an oversized hoodie, but no shirt underneath. My hoodie was pulled up to expose my stomach. I started tearing up, noticing the somewhat visible baby bump. I put my hand on top of the bump, taking a deep breath. I love you, baby, I thought. This wasn't planned, but I can do this. I can do this. I broke down crying. I can't do this. I stared at my pocket knife on the counter. Don't do it. I picked it up and quickly put it in my jeans pocket. I had gone back to the store farther away and picked up some maternal pants. Jasmine! I heard Lypye yell. I quickly pulled the hoodie over my bump, completely hiding it, then wiped my tears, taking a deep breath. Turning to face the doorway, I saw Lypye run into the doorway. She was wearing a vibrant tank top with a sunset on it and high-waisted, somewhat short, black jean shorts. Her long hair was pulled into a high ponytail. Yes? I asked. Would you like to go to the mall with me? She asked. You hate the mall, I pointed out. So do you, but you had the day off and I figured we could hang out together. What do you say? Do you want to go and hate it together? I sighed and looked down, saying nothing. She grabbed my wrist. Come on. She pulled me out of the room. Wait, do you want to change so you don't overheat? I shook my head. No, I've been very cold lately. She pulled on my left arm, the one that she was still holding, and pulled up my sleeve. She did the same with my right arm. When she was sure she didn't see anything, she let go of me and smiled. I had to make sure you weren't hiding. I get it. I interrupted. Thank you for your concern. She nodded and pulled me outside. How you holding up? She asked. I'm fine, I lied. I've been having terrible back pain and I feel very emotionally drained. I'm constantly tired and I've been getting on and off heartburn. She stared at me, irritated. I refused to look her in the eyes. Jazz, you can't lie to me. I can, but you wouldn't believe me, I mumbled. She sighed. What's wrong? I don't want to talk about it. You! She stopped short. I noticed her close her eyes and clench her fists, taking deep breaths. I just don't like seeing you upset. I stared at the ground. I know. I just want to focus on something else. She grabbed my wrist and pulled me along, causing me to start running after her. Syara! I yelled, feeling a cramp forming in my side. Please, slow down! She stopped, then looked at me, confused, as I held my side in pain. What happened? She asked. I'm almost 6 months pregnant and shouldn't be running like that, I thought. Just a cramp. Sorry, she apologized. I'm just eager to spend time with you. I felt a sharp pain in my stomach. I held my stomach, grunting and wincing in pain. Apparently I feel sick to my stomach. Maybe you're hungry, she suggested. Maybe. As I held my stomach, a little hunched over to make sure Lypye didn't notice my stomach had grown, I felt a faint knock on my stomach. The baby kicked. I stood up straight, taking a deep breath. Lypye grabbed my shoulders and stared into my eyes. Are you okay? I'll be fine. I might just be working too hard. Not the full truth, but not necessarily a lie. She sighed and began walking with me slower. Maybe I should have let you rest. I just didn't want— Don't! I snapped. I want to go to the mall with you. We heard some yelling coming from outside a nearby house. Looking over, stopping in our tracks, we saw Mo Jones. He had on a white tank top, a tight one that showed the indents where his abs are, blue jeans, and brown sneakers. His brown hair was cut down to a buzz cut. The girl seemed very familiar. She had golden blonde hair that came down to her butt. It was tied into a high ponytail with a purple bow. She also had on a yellow tank top that exposed a little bit of her stomach, a purple skirt, white frilly socks, and yellow sneakers. My college's cheerleading uniform. Mo was yelling in her face. Sounded like he might be accusing her of cheating. Lypye and I glanced at each other, then back to them, watching Mo slap the girl in the face, then grab her arm tightly. All right, I heard Lypye say. This has gone on far enough. She grabbed Mo's wrist, then yanked his hand away from the girl's arm. Enough!
Why, you little...
He turned his head in anger. His angry stare slowly turned to wide-eyed shock as he realized the girl to be Sarah Brown. She was the only one he tried to bully that was stronger than him. Wait, please, don't, the girl started. Mo used his free hand to raise his pointer finger to her face, silencing her.
This isn't any of your business, Syara.
He spat. I grabbed the girl's wrist lightly, causing her to jump. I pushed her back away from them. When they get like this, you don't want to be too close. Lypye shoved Mo to the ground. You don't ever hurt or strike a woman like that. You hear me? Mo stood up and pointing it at the girl.
This little shit is cheating on me.
I promise I'm not, the girl pleaded.
Really? Then where do you sneak off to every night?
He yelled. I told you already. For yours and my safety, I can't tell you. She tried.
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
He asked. Okay, Lypye interrupted, grabbing Mo's arm. You and I are going inside.
Why should I listen to you?
Because you need to calm the fuck down. She pulled him inside the house. I sat down with the girl on the porch steps. Why do you put up with that? She stared at her lap. My parents found out the secret I can't tell Mo and gave me an ultimatum. I could quit or get kicked out. Mo was already my boyfriend and he had his own place, so I asked. He was never this bad until I moved in. I crossed my arms. He never hit you before you moved in? She stared down at her lap, unable to speak, looking extremely sad. The door behind us opened and Lypye walked out. I sent him to his room until he's calm. She closed the door and sat down with us. I stared at the girl. Wait, I know where I've seen you before. You're Barb Tack, a cheerleader at my college. I'm Jasmine Gross, and this is my sister, Syara Brown. Lypye's head jerked immediately in Barb's direction. How old are you? I'm only 19. She admitted. I noticed Lypye get lost in thought. Is that a problem? Barb asked curiously. No, just a thought process I don't want to share yet. Lypye responded. She and I looked at her confused, before I decided to change the subject. Barb, give me your phone. Wait, what? She asked. She unlocked her phone and handed it over to me. I opened her contacts. What are you doing? She questioned. Adding mine and Sarah's phone numbers. I added the numbers, then hand the phone back to her. If he even lays a finger on you aggressively, you lock yourself in your room and call one of us. I will try and help you out the best I can with getting you into your own place. As will I. Lypye responded. Plus, call me first. I was afraid of me. She shook her head. No, I couldn't do that to you too. And I couldn't live with myself if I knew you were stuck in this situation and I did nothing. I admitted. She hugged Lypye and I. Thank you. We heard the door behind us open and we all turned our heads to face Mo. He was standing in the doorway staring at the ground.
Barb, I'm sorry. I just got so angry and I'm trying to make myself better, but
He sat down next to her.
You know I love you. I don't want to lose you.
There is no excuse for what you did, I thought. Lypye stood up and crossed her arms, standing at the top of the stairs. Mo, can I talk to you for a moment? He nodded and walked up the stairs.
What?
She immediately lunged at him, grabbing his shirt and shoving him against the wall of the house. You listen to me. If I found out you abused her again, I'm going to come back and beat the shit out of you. Your ass is grass. Do you understand? He nodded his head frantically, terrified. Syara! Barb exclaimed. I grabbed Barb's arm lightly, causing her to look at me, and I shook my head. Lypye let go of Mo, then Barb stood up, hugging him. Lypye stared at them with a lot of anger and uncertainty. I slowly stood up, grabbing Lypye's arm. Let's just go. We walked away. There were so many thoughts running through my head. I already was having trouble with realizing that I was having a baby in a few months. I had thoughts of putting it up for adoption, so no one knows I had a baby. I now had a new thought. The regret of leaving Barb with Mo. Chapter 15. Pain. Lypye's Perspective. I knocked on the hatch of the mortal Syara team's base and was greeted by Agent R, who let me in. We weren't expecting you, she said, reaching the bottom of the ladder. It's not the day the team comes over for a meeting. I jumped off of the ladder and nodded. I know. Is Agent B here? She nodded, looking a little nervous. She's with Agent M, strategizing on how to slow King down when he strikes. I walked past her into the back room. Agent B and Agent M were sitting at the discussion table, now looking at me. Miss Lypye, Agent M exclaimed. We didn't know you were coming. I'm aware. I just need to speak with Agent B alone, if you don't mind, I responded. Agent M stood up, collecting a few papers. We'll finish this later. She walked over to the doorway, ushering Agent R out of the room, closing the door behind her. I sat down silently across from Agent B. She looked at me and crossed her arms. What? I noticed the faint marks of a handprint on her cheek, then remembered back to when Mo slapped Barb. I have reason to believe I might know your identity, I told her. She stared at me, wide-eyed. What? How? I took a deep breath. I'm Syara Brown. She stared into my eyes for a while, searching for a lie, then took a few deep breaths. I see. Are you Barb Tack? I asked. She stared at the table for a while, frozen, before nodding slowly. I am. I took a deep breath, looking at a bruise on her arm. I know you can fight. Why don't you fight back with Mom? If he knew I could fight, that could put my identity in danger. Plus, she looked up at me. I can't fight violence with violence. Fighting back would only make matters worse. We heard a knock on the door, followed by Agent M running into the room before anyone could say anything. She slammed the door behind her. I know you said private, but Queen Hina just came in for a surprise visit. Agent B and I stood up at the same time. I stared at Agent M. Is there any other exit? Not at the moment. Agent R and Agent A have been working on one, but it's not finished. She explained. Then there's no way around her, I said, pushing lightly past Agent M, opening the door and leaving the room. Agent R and Mom were sitting at the center table. They both turned to face me. Agent A was nowhere to be seen. My mom stood up, fear shining clearly in her eyes. Lypye? What are you doing here? Don't worry, I was just leaving, I mumbled. Wait a second, my mom said, walking in front of me. Answer me, why are you here? I just had a few questions for Agent B, that's all, I responded, shouldering past her. She grabbed my arm tightly. You're not going anywhere. I yanked my arm away. Watch me. I went to the ladder, but my mom grabbed my hand. Lypye, don't you dare walk away from me. I pushed her back, causing her to stumble. Silently, I climbed the ladder and left the base. I walked out of the shed into the damp, cool spring weather, the moonlight shining down on my face. Lypye! I heard my mom yell. I turned around quickly, watching her walk up to me. I clenched my fist in anger. If you want to start something with me, fine. Don't do it in front of those kids. She took a deep breath and grabbed my right hand lightly. You're right. I'm sorry. It's just... Why does Juwaria trust you so much? I helped save her team. Since then, Juwaria's been showing me how to be good, I admitted. Do you want that? I nodded. It's straining, hard to remember, and exhausting to keep up with, but I want to better myself. I'm scared of messing up and not meeting Juwaria's expectations, but then I remember how she told me that you're super tough on her. You really aren't evil, are you? She asked. I started. I was cut off by my phone ringing. Taking it out of my pocket, I noticed that Jasmine was calling. I have to take this. My mom nodded, and I turned my back on her, answering the phone. Hey, what's up? Lypye? I heard her say through tears, a hint of fear in her voice. Are you okay? What's going on? I asked. She took a few deep breaths. I'm sorry. I know you're busy. It's just... I'm scared of relapsing. Do you have a knife on you? I questioned, feeling my heart starting to pound. In my hand, she admitted. Throw it away from you right now, I commanded. Over her sobbing, I heard a loud thud over the phone. I'll be there soon. Don't you dare touch it, you hear me? Okay, she stumbled. I hung up the phone, then stared at it, taking deep breaths. Is everything okay? I turned to face my mom. A mortal I'm friends with. She has a history of harming herself. She's scared that she won't be able to stop herself. I took a few more deep breaths. I really have to go. She paused for a moment, probably contemplating whether or not to let me go. She nodded. It doesn't have to be today or soon. but I need to meet this mortal you live with. I stared at her. How do you know I live with a mortal? Juaria, she admitted. She mentioned it in her report. All she mentioned was immortal. No name, age, location, or anything else. I felt my blood start boiling. I wanted to keep Jazz away from all of the fights and other gods as much as possible. She wanted me in her life. That much was clear. She didn't like me sheltering her, but I didn't like putting her life in danger. I nodded. Fine. At some point, I'll introduce the two of you. Right now, I really need to go. Before she could get another word in, I ran off, hoping I would make it before anything happened. I ran into the apartment and quickly ran into Jasmine's bedroom. She was crying and sitting on the bed. Her knife was on the floor on the opposite side of the room. I walked over and picked it up, then stuffed it into my pocket. I will be holding on to this. I walked over and sat next to her, hugging her. What's going on? She stayed silent, not moving. I just stared at her lap. She just staring at her lap, crying. Jazz. I stopped hugging her and grabbed her shoulders. I want to help, but you need to let me in on what's been going on. She continued to stare at her lap. Jazz, speak to me! I yelled, panicking. She was scaring me, and I didn't know what to do in this situation. She looked up at me slowly, as if this was the first time she was hearing me. I don't know what's wrong with me. I stood up, grabbed her wrist, then pulled her to her feet. She stood there with her head down. I wiped her tears and wrapped her arm around my neck, pulling her to the living room. I let go of her arm, then lightly pushed on her shoulders, making her sit down. I'm going to pop some popcorn. Then we can watch a movie together. You are eating whether you like it or not. I walked to the kitchen, then opened the pantry, looking for the popcorn. What do I do? It's not like I haven't dealt with Jasmine in any emotion, but this bad to the point where she's almost emotionless. It's scaring me. I need help. I need Juaria's advice. I felt tears run down my cheeks as I grabbed a bag of popcorn and threw it into the microwave.